Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna be adding a new table to our MVC application. So we have this product table which is already hooked up with the dependency injection. We already hooked up the database, but we already have only this product table. I want to add this orders table as well. So the orders has these properties: order ID, user ID, product ID, and delivery days. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my W products DB context. So that's the name that I have for this DB context. And I'll see that I have a DB set that is related to this product table. So I need to create a new one for my orders table. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. I'm going to call this orders, and I'm going to call this orders or order. So in this scenario, I have to add this model, okay, which I already added, but I'll have to go to models and then try to create all these properties that are actually the same ones that I have for my table. So I have this order, user ID, product ID, and delivery days. Notice that in my scenario, those are all integers and the class is order. So I can map these properties now. Let's just go back to my program.cs file, sorry, class. And I already had this set up because I already had the product table working. So I'm just going to tell MVC that I need to add a service that is my DB context, which I already have for W products DB context. That's the name that I created. I'll use SQL Server. You guys could use some other provider. That's pretty much everything. So it's already hooked up and it's getting this default connection from the app settings file. So this property here has the connection string, and that's it. So I'm just going to go back and I'll go to my DB context. I have this set up already. So I have to create a controller. I'm just going to go to controllers and try to test some data. I'm trying to get some data from this table to see if it's actually working or not. I created this controller that is called orders controller. And I'm going to use the same strategy than my products controller. So I'm going to inject in my constructor whatever I have set up in my DB context. But in this scenario, uh, I have to create a private variable here. Okay, that's it. So this is the way that I'll inject everything that I have in my context so I can actually use it in my controller. So I'm going to copy and paste just some random get request so we can test that the data is actually working. All right, I'm gonna call this get products, and this is going to be my orders controller. So the way I call it is API/orders, and that should get me all the orders. I could specify some other condition where, let's see, where my delivery days are 2. So where, and I'm going to use a lambda expression. So where D goes to my D dot delivery days equal to 2. So that's going to get me everything that is 2. So I'm going to have these 3, 4, 5 records for my API. All right. Let's see. So this should be working now, and we'll see if our second table got hooked up to our application. So I'm just going to type slash API slash orders, and that's it. So you'll see that we have the two, three, four, and five products. Sorry, orders. Okay. Looks like it's working. It looks like it's all hooked up. If we get rid of this condition, we'll get this one, two, three, like these seven products. Sorry, orders again. Let's see if it's working. So I'll say API slash orders, and it'll get me these three, four, five, six, seven products. So it's actually working. So that's pretty much how you guys can add a different table. So if I wanted to add this customer info table as well, it'll be exactly the same. So let's just go over this real quick. So I'll just have to go to my products DB context. Now I'll have to create another one of this, right? But in this scenario, I'll do something like customer info, customer info, and then I'll have to create my model for this property. So I'll have to go to models, create a class like this, and instead of these properties, I'll have to add my user ID, first name, last name, email. So it depends, like if you got a string or an integer, so you'll set it up that way. And after that, you'll just see if everything is hooked up already on your program CS class. If you're using user SQL Server, I mean, if this is already working with a different table, it should work with the new one. But I'm just going over the whole process. Then it's getting this from the app settings file, which is your default connection, but you can name this the way you want. And then you just create a new controller. Come here, you add the controller. In this scenario, I'm working with API controllers, and then you will name that controller, for example, customer info controller. And you will have something like this, and then you will do the same. So you will create a private variable, then you'll inject this w products to db context in your constructor, and that way when you have this, you can actually use it here. But in this in the new controller, you're not going to have orders, but you're going to have context dot customer info. That'll give you access to these new properties. So that's pretty much everything I have for this video. I hope you guys like the video, and I'll see you in the next video.